Hello, this is Brent from Variant Studios, and in this screencast I'm going to show you how to leverage the Twilio module to send text messages through your Drupal website. I'm going to try to move quickly through this screencast, so please be prepared to pause when needed, and also if you need more details and links, please check out our blog post. So let's get started. The first thing we want to do is open up your terminal window and navigate to the root of your Drupal website. Next, we need to add a few modules, so we're going to type the following drush commands to quickly download and enable them. So I'm going to download views, ctools, entity, rules, views, rules, libraries, and Twilio. Then we're going to enter the following command to enable the necessary modules. And after we've completed downloading and enabling the modules, we need to add the PHP library files. But first, we need to create the libraries directory. So we're going to type the following commands. And now we should have an empty directory. And we can navigate into that directory. And now we need to type the following command to clone the Git repo for the PHP library files for Twilio. Okay, now we've cloned the PHP library files for Twilio. And that's there. And now let's navigate to the root of our Drupal site. And we are good to go. So now that all of our modules are in place, we need to get our account details from our Twilio dashboard. In this screencast, I'm not going to show you how to set up your Twilio account, but it's super easy to do so. After you've set up your account, you just go to your dashboard and we need to collect 3 bits of information: our account SID, our token, and our phone number. So once we have our dashboard open, we need to go back to our Drupal website and edit the Twilio module. So I'm going to go back to our site in another tab, and under configuration and Twilio, you can see we have areas to enter in the SID, token, and phone number. So let's transfer that over. And make sure there aren't any special characters in your phone number. And after that, we have settings for handling long text messages. So either the message can be sent in separate individual messages, or you can just cut it off. I'm just going to use the default and just truncate the message to 160 characters. And also we have a setting to show the mobile field while entering your registration. And you can either disable this or require it or have this option. I'm just going to set this to optional. Also, we have an area to allow other country codes. In this screencast, I'm just going to limit it to US. And we are good to go. Now let's click Save Configuration. And now that that's set up, we need to next send a test SMS message to our cells. So I'm going to click Send Test Message, and I'm going to enter in my cell phone number. So when you test this, enter in your cell phone number or someone that you know that you can confirm that it went through. So enter in a test message, whatever you'd like, and then click Send SMS. And now we need to check our text messages. And since I'm using a Mac with the messages application, I have it set up so I can receive text messages, since it would be kind of difficult to show you my cell phone. You can see that I've just received that text message, so everything's working. Now I want to edit my account to add my cell phone number so I, as a user, can receive text messages. So the first thing I want to do is click my username to now edit the account, and we now have a new tab that's titled Mobile SMS. And we need to actually authenticate my cell phone number, and this module allows a user to register their phone number, but it requires a code to be entered. So I'm going to add my cell phone number, and it's going to send me a confirmation code. So here's my confirmation code. And now I've been confirmed. So now my user can receive text messages from our Drupal website. So now let's create a rule that will text message users when a new page has been created. So underneath configuration, workflow, let's navigate to rules, and let's click add new rule and just give it a title. And we need to, underneath react on event, select after saving new content, because we want to send a text message when a new page has been created. And let's restrict the type to basic page. And now we need to add an action. So we're going to add an action, and the action we need to select is underneath Twilio. We have a few more options. We have send a SMS to a specific number, send it to a specific user, or send it to all users. Now, when I first saw these options, it's pretty limiting because I have to know what specific user to send to for these two options. So it could be the author, it could be the site admin. And if I select send to all users, then everyone's going to get a text message regardless. And if a page has been created, let's say I want to send it to admins, and this isn't going to work for me. So I had to find another option. And this sent me looking online for other ways to really leverage rules with views. So we actually need to now create a view that will pull in all of our site admins, so all the users that have the role admin, and list out their user IDs. So we have this created, and it's really not doing anything just yet, but we could test this by creating the action send to all users. But let's get this rule to be a little bit more specific after we create the view. So underneath structure, let's go to views and add a new view. And we can create the view with let's just throw in a title there. And we need to select users. And that looks good. Let's click continue and edit. Now let's refine our view to pull in. So it's just pulling in users, all the users that are active. And so we need to change how this works. We need to use the user ID. So UID. I'm gonna add this field. And we don't need any of this. Let's click apply. So now it's showing the user ID and the title or their name, and we don't really need their name, but we're going to keep it just for now. We don't need to sort, so let's remove that. But we do need to filter. I do want to keep active users here because we don't want to send a text message to inactive users, but we need to add another filter by role. And we only want to send it to admins, and both of these users are admins. And let's also make sure that they have an active cell phone number. So underneath Twilio, we have phone number. So if I add that, and then I can do this a few different ways, but let's just do is not equal to null. So then the other user didn't have their cell phone number activated, and we're only pulling in the my account. So everything's working there. And let's remove all this pager stuff. Yeah, let's just do it like this. Great. And should just remove the name. Kind of just use that as a reference just to make sure everything was working properly. And I've been working on the master display, so I actually need to create, when I downloaded and enabled views rules, it gives you another display rules. So I need to add one of those displays. So I have a new display rules, and I'll throw an error because we need to add a rows rules variable. And to do so, you just click under or next to the rows, row variables here. We just edit this information. And the data type is going to be user. And then the label can be user ID, and the actual name is UID. So everything looks good there. And if I click apply, that error will go away. So I have my new views rule set up, and you could change this however you'd like. You could make it be a different role. You can have other configurations. Maybe you add a field in your user account that manually requires them to click a checkbox, so you could check for that value. But for now, for this example, I think this should work. I'm going to now click save. And let's navigate back to our rule. And let's click edit for that send SMS rule. And now we have a add views loop. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this loop here. And we need to, the iterate display, I need to select the views display that I created. And I didn't rename it. And it's going to pull in the values for you, so you don't need to change anything from here. And really, it's just going to pull in the UID for each user that has been pulled into that view, which is exactly what we need. So it's going to iterate through that loop. And now we need to create an action for that loop. So every time it goes through that loop, we want to do something, which is underneath Twilio, send a SMS to a user, a specific user, because we know which user we want, and we're using our view to do that. And it's just the UID and the text message that we're actually sending out. The message, we're just going to enter in a new page has been created titled, and then we're going to put in the token of the node that has been created. But if you click replacement patterns, you can see what kind of information you can pull. So for example, you could throw in the body of the content that was added to that new static page, or the author. So let's actually grab the author as well. And let's close that. So a new page has been created, title that, and then let's do by, and then the author name. So once a static page has been created, this will send that text message to all the site admins with this information. And we don't need to put in media path or anything else. Let's just click save, and our view is ready to test. So let's create a static page, or sorry, basic page. Awesome. Okay, very simple page. Let's click save. And so that page has been created, and oh, look, it worked just fine. So a text message has been sent. So it says a new page has been created titled, and so if I click this, titled test page for screencast by Brent, that's exactly what we did in our rules. So if I go back to my page, I can see everything's worked fine. The test was successful, and my rule and my views rules are working together properly. Thanks for watching. If you'd like more details and links, please check out our blog post. I send an SMS to the world. I send an SMS to the world. I hope that someone gets mad. I hope that someone gets mad.